Neat.
Okay, so approval of the agenda. Recommendation that the regular council meeting agenda for September 8, 2021 be approved as circulated. I need a mover. Councillor Malmus, Councillor Aries, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, adoption of the minutes, recommendation that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on August 11, 2021 be adopted. I need a mover on this. Councillor Bushel, Councillor Anderson. Any questions on the minutes? Hearing none, call a question. All in favor? Carried, thank you. All right, we have two delegations. We have Alex with the Shuswap North Okanagan Rail Trail Fundraising Strategy. And then we have Rona Martin with the Eagle Valley Housing Society. So Alex, you have the floor, sir.
My name is Alex Deshawn. I'm a fundraising strategy coordinator for the Okanagan Rail Trail. It's my pleasure to be here today. Thanks very much for having me. I'm here to answer any questions you may have about the brief that you guys have from me from CSRD. They are seeking support for the grant application that went to the end of July. So I'm going to take a little bit about that and answer the questions that you may have. So we applied to the DC Active Transportation Grant through the province this summer. What we have targeted is Sickness Tamara. This project is going to address some of the safety concerns, things like scaling, fencing the barriers, and bridge decking on Elizabeth Lake. There's also road crossing, signage, and some trail clear and so backcountry spec and the rail trail to be open once work had been completed. So not a final spec with the half-inch crushed gravel you see at the Okanagan Rail Trail currently, but it would allow pedestrians of the public to access the rail trail. It's from kilometer 0 all the way to 19.8 near Merritt. So it's a really exciting opportunity, and all that from the outside, I know that this application is being given serious consideration by the province, and we're really encouraged by what we're hearing so far. It's well positioned. I think our application was very strong, and certainly this funding stream is targeted at shelter-ready projects such as the one here in your region. So I don't want to go through the whole board report here. I believe you guys got access to that. But if there's any questions that you might have, happy to answer.
Comments or questions from council? Councillor McCabe, then Councillor Bushel.
In the funding application, there's sort of two separate ones, $500,000 and then 275 or something like that. On the overall budget, how much is broken out for administration? What's the administration cost of the construction?
For the construction of the rail trail?
For this grant?
Administration, are we surveying environmental mitigation? I wouldn't say there's much for administration at all. It's really focused on the construction of the rail trail and grant requirements that have to be opened to the public on completion. So very little is done.
Go ahead.
And I can't remember if we read it right, but the completion was 2022.
I believe it was 2023, actually.
I'm sorry, 2023. So for that section of road or trail, there's not a lot of structures, if you will. So we couldn't do that in one season. It would take two.
No, I think you could do it in one season. Absolutely. Yeah, it was just for the ground requirements. They don't have a timeline attached to it. So construction has to be complete by 2023. Depending on what the interjurisdictional owners choose to do of the rail trail. My hope as a fundraising coordinator to be able to open up a section of this trail is so much in promoting the project, getting the public out there, seeing, feeling, walking on the trail, and just changing it from that dream to reality is so big for my role. And then anything that you can talk about social media, the imagery, the videos that we can start to put out, it just goes so far in promoting the project as a whole. really exciting opportunity, actually.
Thank you.
Council Bushel.
The chair. Alex, how much, I just missed that when you said, how much is going to be, of the rail bed is going to be crushed gravel? Or is it just going to stay the 360 there?
It will stay, yeah, the balance rock will stay. They're calling it a trail, basically clear and grub. So that's to make sure we have a 4-meter width. So they'll be pushing the trail onto the side a little bit, clearing any bushes, trees that have popped up, that kind of thing. There's also some thoughts to doing some erosion mitigation, some berming along the narrows here where there's some low spots that can be susceptible to high water in the spring. As we know, we didn't quite have water last year. So that's really important that we start to protect the corridor by doing a little bit of erosion control if we can with this grant. It won't solve the larger issue of erosion and some of those sites around as well. But we do hope to mitigate erosion.
Thank you. And we've accessed funds from our REO fund before for this project. And is there any other communities kicking in any money?
So my understanding, I can't really speak to the UF, but it's already CSRD and yourself that decide how those funds are spent. I'm really just here to speak about the grant application.
Yeah, okay. Have you gone to any other communities for funding for this project or just us?
I don't know. This application was submitted by CSRD in support for myself and Bill, who's the project manager. So CSRD is the one that has put their name on the application, and they have to confirm the funding is available for the matching leverage portion of the grant. So that's the amount of the figure you see before you today.
Okay, thank you.
All right, other comments or questions from council? I'm hearing none, so thanks, Alex. So you're making a decision a little later on in the council meeting. Thank you. All right, Rona, you're up in regards to the Eagle Valley Housing Society and the letter that you wrote to us, so.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I think you have before you the email that I sent to you. I just haven't heard anything, so I called and spoke to Ellen, and we thought that perhaps it would be a good idea to come and speak to you about the email and just see where your thoughts are. And then you can see that we've asked for a change to your official community plan. The Housing Society was not supportive of the new concepts that were provided to us. I outlined the reasons why in the email. We want the seniors housing access off of Gordon Mackey Lane. That keeps all of our seniors coming in the same way. People will be respectful, speeds will be kept down, and everybody will watch out for each other. The family housing, which will be on the property that is being donated by the District of Sycamores, we're asking that they receive their access off of Main Street. Therefore, there would be a clear delineation between the family housing and the seniors housing, although through parkland and sidewalks, we would connect them as one project. But it is just, in our opinion, as a housing society responsible for seniors, we just think that it puts seniors at too great a risk to have people whipping in and out of there. And we know that that's what will happen. We did walk over after our last presentation to council, and we looked at what council was asking for access off of Paradise, and we would be required to give up some more land, and I don't think we're prepared to do that. We're giving up 3/4 of an acre already, and the land, as you know, is very valuable. It doesn't grow more, and people in the community continue to age, and the requirements for our aging population is going to become greater, and we will need land to address those concerns. We talked about it for quite a while, and it was very clear from the Housing Society that they feel, and I'm bringing the message to you, that the safest access for the project is off of Main Street. Recognizing that you will have to access your project off of Main Street because that's the only way that you have to access the healing center. So I did put in there that we had received notification from BC Housing that they will not spend any more money until this issue has been resolved. And I don't put that in there as a threat. It's just that we got that message and, you know, we were very distressed by it. I think we've come a long ways to, you know, from being way over here and way over here. We just have this one issue to resolve and then our project can go forward to the next step. And we all know what's happening in our communities. We have people living in unsafe situations and many of them are seniors. They're living in homes, in RVs that are not safe for them. They're not adequately insulated for the winter. Sometimes when they do things to try and make them warmer, it causes sweating and mold. It puts them at greater health risk. And so the sooner that we can get this project moving forward, I think the better it would be for all of us. So I'm here on behalf of the Eagle Valley Senior Citizens Housing Society, respectfully requesting that if your OCP is very firm on saying no, I understood it to say no further accesses, but if it says no further access, truly to goodness, we could use one of the current accesses to access the property and provide, you know, the housing for the families coming in off of that way. So I don't know if any of you have any questions of me, but I'm happy to try and answer them if you do.
Comments or questions from council? Councillor McKay.
Thank you for your presentation and thank you for taking time to come here today. So the funding, the BC Housing, so there's no available funding left to modify some concepts or have you know, look at some options that the urban systems working for a housing society may not have looked at. So that there's, you can't access that resource anymore because the funding's froze, is that correct?
There is no further funding going to be spent on this project until the access issue is resolved.
It's sort
That is
of,
the directive that came down from BC Housing.
sort of a catch-22 sort of thing, because wouldn't you need support from your consultant to come up with some concept to resolve the access issue? Sorry, you know what I mean? It's sort of a catch-22. How can
Well, I don't know how we can, I mean, there's the access suggestion that you put forward, which would have people coming in off of Paradise, which would take more land away from the housing society, which would have families coming through an area where there's people, probably the average age of them is maybe 60 to 85, walking with walkers and maybe driving. Some of them still drive, but not too many. Or the access off of Main Street, which would have the family housing totally separate, coming in off of Main Street, which would make it much safer for the seniors. So the consultant that is working for this project did come back with something, but it just has people coming through Paradise, and that's not a suitable access. It's just, it just puts seniors at too great a risk. That's, you know, I mean, and that's our mandate, is the care of seniors. So that's why I think we're being very, you know, very dug in about this. But as I said, I think we've come a long way. We were quite far apart on quite a few issues, but we've managed to resolve them all. And it's just this access for the family housing that is going to be built on the property that the District of Sicamous is providing.
Thank you.
All right, Councillor Malmus, go ahead.
Yes, thanks for coming, Rona, and making your presentation. Your last comment was basically that your primary service that EVC offers is for seniors. And
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
your primary service that EVC offers is for seniors.
Our society is the Eagle Valley Senior Citizens Housing Society. So we are looking after the housing and the safety and security of the people that are housed in the facilities that we are caring for.
And so in your original concept, you were talking about mixing the two together on a different piece of property. If I'm correct, that was on the Finlayson piece of property and given up no land. And now you've given up some land to house the seniors, but you also want to have the other aspect of that development as well, for which the district would give up the land. And then you're asking us to change our OCP, accommodate that benefit it's a benefit for the community, but it's a benefit for the EBC as well, right? So there is already a road allowance, 10 meters, that is there, which you cannot build on. And in your letter, you asked about a temporary access off of Main Street. But today in the planning committee, I suggested that we do a little more research because I get a sneaky suspicion the services are planned to go underneath that road, which if we do that, then it will always be a road and it will never be the main street that is supposedly all commercial frontage with no access. So that's why Paradise was suggested. And so where are the services coming into this building from and to that other lot? Like if we allow the services to come through on the property that we are hoping will have building on it, not road, then any community you go to downtown, community grows, there's no road accesses off the street. There's streets and back alleys, but there's no road access. And there are ways to accomplish access to that parking without coming off of Main Street. And that's part of our official community plan, and it's been discussed. And so you want us to change our official community plan. And once we do that, that will be a forever deal. We have a couple roads on here that are going to be cumbersome to change as it is, that are access to properties that are not actually properties on Main Street. And they've already been big problems. And so you're asking us to create another big problem. Sorry.
Okay, so if I can respond to that. You'll recall that the District of Sicamous approached the Eagle Valley Senior Citizens Housing Society to ask them to become partners in this project because we are the ones that look after housing. As a society, we had to go to our membership to ask permission to be involved in a project off of our property because there was going to be housing for non-seniors. Our membership granted us that approval, and that was when the District of Sicamous was providing the property on Finlayson Street. Things changed. We had to go back to our membership and discuss with them again that part of this project would now be coming onto our property, but only the property for seniors. So does the Eagle Valley Senior Citizens Housing Society benefit from something like this? Of course they do, but we're a nonprofit society that's here for the betterment of all seniors. It's not like a business. We're here for the betterment of seniors within the community for a long time to come. Currently, you have an access to the apartment building. There was 2 houses, so that's 3 driveways. There's 2 driveways going to the dentist's office, and then you have the driveway for the mobile home park. How are you going to access your healing center? You are going to access it, I would presume, off of Main Street. I don't know how else you are going to. So all we are asking is that you share that access with the project that benefits all of us. I mean, when we're having conversations in our community and we're hearing businesses say that they can't get any staff, well, they can't get any staff because there's no money place for the people to live. So this is a benefit for all of us. And an OCP is never done. An OCP can be changed. It's a living document. You go through the process. Just as we are asking you to change your OCP, people can do that all the time. And then the council of the day makes the decision whether they support it or not. And right now, for the betterment of the greater community, the Eagle Valley Senior Citizens Housing Society is asking that you please consider this. Because I don't know how else we will access that property. We just feel that our seniors are at too great a risk with families whipping through them. And, you know, we can all pretend that kids will not drive past, somebody's in a rush to go to the school because their kid's sick, or all kinds of things that can happen. We need to have that access off of Main Street. It makes perfect sense. You're in your last offer to us, you said there was a possibility of shared parking. Well, how are we going to share that parking if we're not accessing that parking lot? I think that I don't know what else I can say. You know, it's not like we're benefiting from this personally. We're not benefiting from this personally. We're trying to provide housing for seniors so that we don't have seniors living in a hotel room or living in an RV or a camper. And that's what's happening, or couch serving, going from one kid to another or one friend to another. So, you know, I mean, it kind of scared us all when BC Housing said, we need to resolve this issue. No further funding will be coming forward until it's resolved. And so that is why we have come to you and asked for this change. So if there's no further questions of me, I will leave and then you can discuss it, okay?
All right, any other questions for Rona? Hearing none, thank you very much, Rona.
Thanks, Rona.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
All right. All right. We'll move in camera. So recommendation is pursuant to section 91 EGIJ and 92B of the Community Charter, Council exercises authority and move in camera. I need a mover with Councillor Malmus, Councillor Aries, all in favor. We're in camera. Thank you.